Hey YouTube, I wanted to do a quick video on my Plecs and Plecs in general. It's not like a care video, I'm not going to put too much information in it. It's about a problem that I see with these fish, and I see it a lot. Excuse the quality of the video. I can't get them to come towards the front of the tank. They don't like. I only have light at the front of my tanks, and that's to allow any fish that want to chill out in the dark at the back of my tank, you can chill out. So the problem that I see with these fish is they are readily available, very cheap, and a lot of them are sold. If you go to your big pet shops, you're going to see these fish in any one of them, and they're going to be priced at between £5 and £8, say, which is not a lot of money for a fish, and they're going to be labelled as tank cleaners. You go to the big online stores, I'm not going to mention any names, but you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a couple of big online stores, and they will label these fish as algae eaters or clean-up crews, and that's wrong. Yes, they eat algae. Yes, they will clean your tank. But a lot of people take that and think, well, yeah, that's it. Now, I speak to a lot of people, and when I speak to them and I say, what fish have you got in your tanks, you know? You get excited at the fish store, or you start talking about your fish with people, and they will say, you know, I've got this, I've got an Oscar, or I've got a parrot, or I've got whatever fish they've got. They're all excited, and then they will suddenly remember at the very bottom of their list, they say, I've got a pleco in there. And I'll say, what'd you feed the pleco? Oh, I don't, he eats all the algae off the glass. And that is one of the modern misconceptions with these fish. They need a varied diet, they really do. They need a good algae-based wafer or sinking pellet food, and they need like cucumber and other things like that. They love all that, and you should try and do that. If you choose to keep this fish, it shouldn't be just to clean your tank, and I think that is what I would willing to say 60–70% of these fish sold are used for. And the other problem with that is, you go into your average fish shop, or even your big superstores, the average tank in there is probably 2 foot wide. So I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that, you know, not many people, I know us on YouTube, we've got big show tanks and that, but the people, out of everyone that in the hobby, the average tank probably isn't much more than 3 foot long by 15 inches wide. And these fish get to 50 centimetres, and they're big, broad, stocky fish. Now, they need room. They're not overly active, they don't need a lot of swimming room, but the problem with that is they will just continue to grow in a small tank. I've seen some videos on YouTube that make me sick of, you know, these things up to like, you know, 18 something inches. I've got a couple in it, but my other one, I can never get him to come out into the light. I'll try and do a video one day of him because he's huge, but you know, they will just grow to they don't grow to the size of the tank, they will grow and grow and grow. So, you know, it's something that I think people should be made more aware of, and it just upsets me because I know how many of these are sold at the one local big fish pet store that I go to, because of always different either albinos or normals and all that in the tanks, and a lot of them are sold, and I'm willing to bet that 90% of them are probably in tanks that are too small and are not getting the diet they need. And it's upsetting. It's a beautiful fish. It's a fish with its own personality. Alright, you're not going to see it a lot. It will hide out if you've got any decoration, or it will stick to your tank somewhere. But this fish isn't a tank cleaner. It isn't just a tank cleaner, sorry. It isn't just going to live off of the shit that your fish produce and the amount of slime on the side of your tanks. You need to make sure that you vary its diet and keep it well, because it's rewarding. I mean, this one here is the smaller. I've got one over here, just about to see the back of it there. But he's absolutely huge, and he's chunky, he's healthy, because I feed him a good varied diet, and he's happy. So, as with any other fish species, you want to keep a fish, you need to know what you're getting into. I say it in all my videos, that's a big thing for me. You need to know what you're getting into with it, and if you want a plec, or you want a tank cleaner, make sure you can house it. Make sure you're thinking about that fish in the end, like your end game, not just something I'm going to stick in my tank to clean it, and I don't really care about it, because it is a fish at the end of the day. You can't keep the other fish that I keep and put all the time and effort that I put into them and ignore these two, you know. And I've got them in my other tanks. I've got my little albinos in my 2 foot tanks, and I know they're going to get this big. I'm eventually going to need a bloody tank just for me Plecs, and that's going to be a boring tank because they don't move. But I want it, you know. If I choose to keep the fish, I will make sure that I meet its needs, make sure it gets a varied diet, and make sure that I can house it adequately. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't do with this one species, just this species. I mean, a few other species obviously, but this is probably the most unrecognised fish, or the least information known about it, because you want it to do a basic job, which is clean your tank. So yeah, that's all I'm going to moan about today. Check out my channel for more videos on my other fish. I keep lots of species with a few tanks. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.